Simon, and today we are creating a pig. Okay, so I began with the cylinder because I wanted to create the eyes, and then I make sure that I subdivide the cylinder into like 12 sides, and then I set it into position. Remember, I'm creating this anonymously. So what I did, I shifted the pivot to go to the center, and then I created the box. Now this box is going to be for the nose. Created a table smooth for the nose, and then made it have like 2 iterations, and then positioned it. Now I'm going to create a torus, which torus is going to create that ring that is always on the nose of a pig, and then I reduce the sides of that ring. Okay, so it's up to me to attach the torus to the sides of the ring and make sure that everything fits well. Great. Remember, I'm creating these items anonymously, meaning that I might have seen the picture of the pig, and then I'm like, okay, I have it in mind. Let me create now what the pig will look like. So I created the eyes first, and then I determined that now I'm creating the nose of the pig. So from there, it will be easy for me to have a mouth. Now, some of these are the techniques that I keep using. I keep discovering more. So I'm doing a weld, and then I had to make sure that that weld has 4 sections because I don't want the loop to go around the nose all the way. Alright, so I'm very sure that what I'll do here will happen on the other side, because I'm just going to bisect one side and add symmetry, and then create a mirror on the other side. So just delete the other side, and then I make sure that I move it to the center of the pivot. Okay, and all I have to do is add symmetry. Now I'm creating the inside of the nose, that is the nostril, like the nose of the pig, and then I'm going to insert and then push back. So this will, I'll end up with a rounded nose of a pig. Alright, so you can use these techniques with different animals apart from that. And please do not forget to subscribe to pugicode.com or go and watch very many videos that we have. And also subscribe to this YouTube channel. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add symmetry. Okay, and at first I had issues because of my welding. So you can see that the pivot was looking on the other way. Okay, so all I had to do is put it right, put the pivot right. So that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to normalize everything so that I make sure that the normals are not flipped, so that the pivot faces the right place. So I had to normalize and collapse so that all faces are the same, and then when I add the mirror, everything looks natural. Alright, so I push out that part so that the nose is not meeting at the center point. So I push out the edges to give me extra work around, and take it to the middle, and then zero it out to the center. Great, so you can see I do have the nose of the pig. Now, when you have a facial structure, these are some of the things you worry about. Once you're done with the head, everything becomes simple. So all I have to do is now expand the face, and then make sure I do more welding. So I had to insert and move it aside. So I'm just putting things into position, and now I'm creating what would be the middle, okay, of the nose. You can see I'm pushing things back, but you can already see from the wireframe that I already have a would-be facial structure of a pig. Okay, just from shapes. One, I started with the cylinder, and secondly, I created the box and made 2 iterations on a turbo smooth and the torus to make that hinge on the nose of a pig. So with that, I have something to rhyme with. Now, remember, there are very many things that can that look like pigs, like such as a warthog, or what they call a boar. That is a warthog and a boar. I think they are different things, because a boar looks like a normal pig, but as long as it's not with a human being. Anyway, I don't know actually. But what I know is they are all in that kind of pig family. So I'm also trying to create a loop so that I minimize the number of vertices that go to the back. Okay, and that those sorts of vertices help when even the pig is folding its nose. It doesn't need to affect most of the vertices that are right there in the back. I'm also using ZBrush. So right now I'm creating a facial structure. I just want to have a good flow, but I know that I'll be using ZBrush soon to formulate most of the things. So my worry at this moment is not that. So I'm also creating the lower part. That's why I'm going to take it to ZBrush by creating a box. Okay, then I insert the box because I need that part of the lower jaw. Okay, you can see I worry about one side, then worry about the other later with the symmetry. So you see, so all I have to do now is symmetry, and then I'm inserting so that I have that part that will have to go down. Okay, so I don't need to worry about this because all I have to do is take it to ZBrush and everything will be right for me. So there is a lot of deleting because I want things to rhyme well, and it eases the process of work. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel or visit our website pugico.com, pugicode.com. Okay, some of these models you will find them being sold at a very cheap price on pugico.com. So at this moment I've taken to ZBrush and I'm just using the move tool, the normal brush to kind of make a bulge and also make a depression inside there so that I make that lower jaw within the mouth of the pig. Okay, so I'm just creating, you know, what it would look like. Now some of these models will be sold for free, some will have textures. Oh, I'm saying sold for free. Some of these models will be sold for a very mean price. Some of them will have textures, some of them won't, but the polygons will be ready. All you have to do is buy, download, and start using. Great. So at this moment, we want to bring our model in from ZBrush. Now I do have issues with my ZBrush. The ZBrush version is earlier than the 3ds Max version, so I do have issues of gauzy. So whenever I try to bring in some object, Gauzy will have to create another 3ds Max instance, but then it will replace the object that is in the old instance. So those are some of the issues I do have. Right away after the gray shaping, I'm just going to send it to 3ds Max using Gauzy, and then we see the output. So you see it first creates a clone, and then later on I get something out of it. So I'm trying to make sure that everything, at least the vertices, are not so deep, because I remember I've just pulled them down using the brush. So I'm just continuing with the modifications. Okay, so I've deleted one part and I'm going to create a symmetry. All right, so I need to work on the top part because even the top part or the top jaw needs a depression, and then it needs to wind up to the lower part of the jaw. So I need to have that loop not even touching the nose. So that's why I'm going to create an inset. So I've created two insets there. So it's just one way of making sure that even when I create a loop, it just goes round. It doesn't reach the other part of the jaw. Great. So it's like that loop around the mouth. So when I create that kind of loop, I'll be sure that the loop goes around the lower jaw to the other part. So I'm going to make an attachment and then I do a weld. So I'm just creating a flow right now, making sure that the parts touch each other, that I'm having that on a loop that I want to have, just like that. Well, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, comment or like, and then we do have support in case you have some simple questions. And then you can also hire us for modeling, and then still again you can support the channel. You can become a Patreon, you can become a sponsor, and then furthermore you can also support us by buying some of these 3D models which are on the website. So here we are. You can see I'm already now on ZBrush. I'm trying to modify the face of the pig, and you can see I already have the shape. Great. So all I need to do is modify some more topology. For example, I want to work with the eyebrows, the lashes, the lids, things of the sort, so that I do have more items to work with. So right now I'm trying to extrude the body of the pig, you know, by expanding and extruding, dragging down, things of the sort. It will be the same as also creating a cylinder or creating a box and give them the same iterations like I do on the bodies of human beings or humanoid characters. So you can say all I have to do is go to ZBrush and create a nice shape, you know. After getting the head, you know, to the neck, everything becomes easy. One thing I want you to know is with the pig, it's not like the humanoid character where you create the head separately and the rest of the body, because when you create morphs here and also try to join from the rig, I think you need the character to be having a center of the neck with the equal-sided parts. So all I'll have to do is come to that center of the neck and then do my divisions. So right now I'm trying to create the bottom, you know, that lower part where the tail is. And I'm working on one side and then I have to weld the other sides. So let's hustle. And the item is done. So I'll still do the same thing and take it back to ZBrush, and you know, all I have to do is brush the topology. Alright, so I'm doing a turbo smooth. I'm doing a symmetry, and now I want to, you know, to make sure that the bottom part is soft. So I'm removing some of the isolated vertices that were still close and adding more topology to work with. So I just want to make sure that, you know, the lower part is, you know, uniform with that kind of pinchy conical shape before I go on to add on the legs and the feet. So you see, the process is easy once you have the topology. Alright, so all I have to do is now create that part of the shoulder and the part of the feet, insert where the arms will be extruding from, you know. So I'm going to pull it out, so therefore I can create the arms alone and also create the lower part, that is the legs alone, but I have a point where they will all meet. So I'm going to leave that as open and then go down to the thigh. What would be the thigh? And then also try to formulate that. So that way I can have, you know, a solid part of the leg. And also I try to make sure that I have enough foundation to work with, so that when the leg is moving, you know, it doesn't affect the rest of the part, the rest of the body otherwise. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's continue. Alright, welcome back, and let us continue with our pig character. So previously we had created the body, and right now I'm trying to create the legs of the pig. So I started with a square or a tube, what you could call a rectangle, and I made it tubed, and then I selected one part for the leg, the front legs, which could be the forearm, and then another part for the behind leg, and then I put I converted them to editable poly after making sure that all of them are into a turbo smooth with the iterations of 1. So I'm now just extruding to make sure that the feet and the arms are almost on the same level, just like a pig would be. Okay, then that's where I'm going to aim, and then I rotate it back in position, and then make sure that I stretch them out. So right now I'm not so much concentrating on the details, but rather making sure that I have the right joints that would make the like conversions, the bends of the feet and the arm of this pig. Okay, do not forget to subscribe, support, sponsor these videos. And you can see the techniques are very simple. I've been using almost a box from the beginning. I've now rotated it up, and then I'm rotating the arms for it to look like humanoid, and the feet or the legs for them to look down. And now that I know that they are almost on the same level, so it's now easy for me to join, like I'm joining a center point. So I've taken to ZBrush to modify, to create that very good pose of a pig, since I created it from a certain from a box. So I'm trying to smoothen out things just to to give it the right topology. I already have the topology to give it the right body shape. Okay, so same I do for the leg or the thigh. It is rounded, and I'm making it bulge, and then take it back to 3ds Max, just like that. So it now becomes easy for me to join, because I already have the upper part and the lower part, and then I also make sure that each of them at least equates to 8 sides, so that when it reaches time for joining the thighs, everything fits on well. And these are the modifications that I'm doing. So you can see it's easy for me. I use Gauzy, then I go to ZBrush, and then I do the modifications, then come back to 3ds Max and do the right modifications. I had to add some little bit of topology there to make sure that all sides equate to at least something. It wasn't that easy. That side at least played me a bit, but I managed to get it. Okay, so you say I deleted some sides of the topology, topology, because I needed an extra edge there. And it's always good for you to make sure that you have the right sides, so that the items fit into each other. So there I discovered then that I had done it the wrong way. In the first way I had done it the right way. All right, that's it. And then I go to the arm. You see, it now becomes easy, and then I'll make sure that I work on the part of the shoulder. So right now I'm trying to give that rotation that is usual around the arm, so that I have 2 bones there, so that my character is always painting in the right way. So you see, with these modifications, I don't mind where these items look, because I know that I'll go back to ZBrush like I'm doing here, and then I modify the topology and put it in the right position with the move brush. So it becomes easy. So that's why when I'm modeling the other side, I don't mind so much about the shape that I'm getting, because I now take it to the brush and modify the topology, and everything will be back to normal. So that's the kind of rotation I'm talking about. You can also see that I'm minding one side, because I know I'll just do a symmetry and then get the other side perfect. Alright, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because I'll be doing more characters, and it will be up to you to master the technique. So I'm trying to make sure that I have good armpits, a good shoulder part, and then the good part of the thigh, you know, so that everything is rhyming well with the topology and the shape, not just having something, you know, a bumpy leg just like that, with no sequency or flow. So if I do symmetry, you can see I have the pig. So I'm working now on the inside of the mouth. I need to extrude it and push it with to the inside where I'll have the tongue. So it becomes easy now. So I'm scaling while bulging and rotating, just like that, so that when he opens his mouth, at least you can see the inside. So I take it to ZBrush, so I'm going to modify it. So what I did, I go down to display in ZBrush, then I flip the normals. So right now I'm painting on the inside and pulling. Okay, so then unflip and then take it back to 3D Studio Max, and I'm removing the unnecessarily welded vertices, and then continue with the modification. All right, so that's it. At this level, we've added the arms. We're going to continue to the next level where we're going to do more modifications to the character. So right now I'm giving more topology to the neck, because I know the neck will have very several movements. Okay, so I'm also working on the tail. So the tail doesn't need to originate from there, because it will be inside the character. All you need to do is place it in the right position and then extrude. So I got the beginning part of the tail and then joined it with the last part of the tail, just like that. So the tail of a swine is a bit small, but it will have more topology because it will do a lot of movements, and then some little hair in it. So do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, or even reach out to us on Skype. The links are there on our social media. Alright, so I had to continue and work on the eyes. And in this very section, the concentration is going to be onto UVW and then also painting. So I had to work on the eyes. So I'm just making sure that from a sphere where I'm going to create the eyes, at least I do not have, I want to have a square, so that when I do my UVW unwrap, everything comes easy. So the first thing I do is I create the sphere, and then I make sure that I take the sphere and the other objects into ZBrush, so that I can do the modification of the eye. Okay, so that it fits well. Remember, I want the sphere to continue rotating. So those are the movements that I'm doing. I'm doing move topological, so that I make sure that the eye is at least seated on the flesh of the eyelid, just like that. All right, so when I pull it back, at least everything seems normal. So I've just pulled out the tail so that I do again a symmetry, and then my eyes will be in position. So right now I'm going to do a UVW unwrap. So the first thing I want to worry about is the teeth now. So I'm creating the teeth. So I create a torus, make sure that I fit it into place. I do my squeezing before I move it down, I move it out. So I'm trying to make sure that the inside of the gums for the pig are fitting well with the torus. So I delete the lower part and then duplicate it and then create the upper part, which is going to be the teeth. I just need to move a few sections inside, and then my pig will be. So I'm giving it humanoid teeth, and then I usually turbo smooth this right away because I don't want it to be separate. Right, so I'm now creating the tongue still using the same technique of the turbo smoothing of a rectangle, and then I flatten it. So I'm taking it to ZBrush where I modify it. Okay, you can see now modification is easy. I can even paint the in and out and give it volume. So I take it back to 3ds Max, it will be simply sitting there. So it's a back and forth of 3ds Max. All right, so at least I know I have the tongue inside the swine. All right, so I'm going to do some kind of UVW unwrap. So I unwrap the pig and I get some UVs this side of 3ds Max. So I may not need to flatten them straight away, but I'm just making sure that I have the right cuts. This is unnecessary, but I just make sure that I have the right positions where I want to put my concentration. But it may be unnecessary because it can be done by ZBrush straight away. But better try than never. So I'm just flattening, and then I'm going to pack them, and then I flatten the UVW with the pig. So, and all I have to do is now take it to ZBrush and unwrap using the plugin, the UVW plugin for unwrap the UVW unwrap for ZBrush. Right, so you can see I've flattened my UVWs very well. Of course, I do some modifications and painting here and there, just to make sure the UVs are attracted to some positions and pushed away. Alright, do not forget to subscribe. So that's the back and forth like, that I was doing there. Comment on this video, and then we're going now to start on the poly paint, since we already have now our UVW unwrap with the ZBrush. Alright, so with the poly paint, I'm going again to push to go Z. Okay, sometimes I just export the OBJ to be sure, and then I start painting. So my default color will be a pink, and then I want to add some kind of reddish and black, some little black spots to the pig, and then some white spots. Of course, not too many. So some positions I was rubbing. Okay, if you don't need to symmetrify most of them, you can do some little kind of wash away with the symmetry. So you can say I kept on doing it on and again, and then in certain positions I would have to isolate by masking at certain places. Alright, so I tried out different colors, such as that green that you see, to have a green pig. Some didn't work out well, some did. But I got the final color. That's what you can know. Alright, so I try to imagine, add some little bit of red, you know, so that it's not a straight pink and black pig. Now some pigs have unique colors via the nose, you know, some little bit of white, just like that. Okay, so I also had to work around the face so much because the facial emphasis is very vital on any character, because in most cases the final viewers of the character will be watching the expressions on the face. So if you do not have a defined painting there, you may have issues with the expressions on the face of the pig. All right, so I wanted him to have some kind of unique part, maybe a scar, and there I was trying to get the Z depth. All right, so I'm going to, I've already exported, so I'm adding now the kind of a tone from a PSD that I exported from ZBrush, and then adding some lighting, adding some SS sub rendering, just like that, to make sure that I nail it up. All right, so it's a try and error. You need to work out a few things until you get the right feel of the character that you're looking for. Alright, let's meet in the next video where we're going to do more items about our big character. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share, okay, this video. Alright, so we're now going to work on the morph targets and character lip sync. Alright, so from our ZBrush, I do duplicate two sets. I duplicate one where the mouth is open and another where the mouth is closed. Now, the reason why I duplicate one where the mouth is open is because I want, when I'm creating the phonemes, it's easy. And then the one when the mouth is closed is for expressions specifically. Right, so with that said, I create my expressions. I think I'll have to create another detailed video, for example, for my monkey character that I'm creating. And I work on the and I talk about lip syncing in detail, or how I do my morph targets, which will take at least a 1 or 2 hours video. And I do so you keep on waiting for that monkey character, which I'm going to create. All right, so it becomes easy. Now with the lips, I do very few letters. First of all, I work on vowels, and then I make sure that I add R and V, I think, which rhymes with F. So I do the R, A, E, O, U. Then I add R because the tongue will be folding onto the inside of the mouth, and then some other letter there. All right, so I won't take so much with the lip syncs. I do the O and the W, which is U. Okay, so let me increase the speed on the video. All right, so that's the O. So one thing I consider when I'm working with these characters, I make sure that the vowels that I'm trying to work on are pronounced. Okay, because if they're not pronounced for the end viewer to see them and identify, then my lip syncing won't be on point. So if it's a W, I make sure it's a W. U, you know the ending of the vowel. If it's a U or O, I make sure it's a O. Then Z, X, T, you know the teeth is always out. Then R, okay. And then the blow and the kiss, okay. Then an F. So this is F. The lower lip is always F and V. The lower lip is always beaten by the upper teeth, you know, a bit. And then this is the R. So with the R, you just need to open the mouth, and then the tongue is shown while touching the upper part of the jaw. All right, so also now the pupil of the eye, usually the character, when the character is surprised, the pupil, you know, dilates, something of the sort. So I also make sure that I give them a modifier. I give them a morph. So when I add, you can see, for example, this other pupil. So when I add, okay, you can see. So when I add a slider, or the character is surprised, I just combine with the slider, and the attributes is what I'm calling a slider, and everything will be straight into place. All right, so I'm now working also on the mirror, so mirroring. And now this is the fleshy eyes, to make sure that the lids move whenever the eyes are moving left or right, so the fleshy eyes. Okay, now one other thing with animals, it's usually unique because you must give it every perspective, that whenever it will be a smile, will stay a smile, and the person who is viewing the staging, everything looks nice. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to mirror the morph targets to the other side, so that if I have the left eyebrow up, and then the right, the left snack, and then the right snack, things of the sort. But usually I have issues with ZBrush. Those issues happen, especially if the pivot point is not in the same position. You have your morphers making the characters go up or down, something of the sort. So what I usually do, I reset all the characters and reset their X form, okay, and then make sure that at least the pivot is reset into position, because it doesn't need to have all the dependencies that are coming in from ZBrush. So you can see the left brow up, left brow down, snack left, snack right, then smiles. So blow, kiss, U, W, O. Okay. So U, the O. Okay, so I do have one set that needs to be reset. All right. The smiling. So even the smiles, I do one when it is smiling when the teeth are out, and another when the teeth are not out. All right, so working on the fleshy eyes here. I think I had issues with the previous modification. I would have, I think I had modified fleshy eyes with the open lips, which would make, you know, things not work well. So the inside of the tongue, you can see R, whenever the character says R. All right, so I gave them a layer, and that character is good to go. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, or share. And then in the next stage, I'm going to be looking at now the cat rig character animation toolkit. So the cat rig will be very important. And let's meet in that video for the cat rig. In that video, I don't think it will be a speed video. It will be a small video for our character. And there may be two videos for enveloping. Now I make sure that I reset X form on the whole character, so that when the cat rig finds everything fresh. Let's meet in that video. Thank you for watching.